The goal of the Academy of Raya Lucaria and the sorcerers within is to deepen their understanding of glintstone, the amber of the cosmos. Every conspectus works towards this goal in one way or another. Some by focusing on a particular aspect of sorcery, such as stars. Others gather as much knowledge of known sorcery as they possibly can. But the conspectuses have certain lines they are unwilling to cross. There's an understanding that by diving too deep, a sorcerer can lose themselves, and even if that comes with a powerful new spell, they believe there's more to be gained through continued study than by driving yourself mad through glimpsing that which the human mind cannot comprehend. Conspectus leaders such as Azor and Lusat dove too deep, seeing the primeval current, and eventually losing themselves to the knowledge within. The Academy as a whole knows of this danger, and chose to outlaw the pursuit of this forbidden knowledge, and all but one seemed to fall in line. A deeply intelligent woman, and the sole bearer of the witch's glintstone crown, decided she knew better than the Academy, and for her pursuit of this forbidden knowledge, she was locked away, never to be heard from again. That is until we found her at the Waypoint Ruins, and decided to study glintstone sorcery under her tutelage. Today, we tell the story of Sellen, the Graven Witch, and explore her studies, her goals, and the sad state we find her in once all is said and done. Welcome to the Elden Lore series, where we explore the stories and lore behind the many characters, monsters, and gods of Elden Ring. Whether this is your first time joining us, or you're a long-time watcher of the channel, thank you for checking out our content. If you end up liking the video, why not subscribe and join our Discord? Every subscription helps grow this incredible community we've been cultivating, and the Discord is a fun place for our fans to hang out and talk about their thoughts and theories. Even if you don't subscribe, we're just happy you decided to spend some time with us, and don't forget to check out the Elden Lore playlist, so you can explore our almost 100 lore dives. With that said, let's get back to the topic at hand. It's possible to first meet Sellen while exploring Limgrave early in our journey. If we visit the Waypoint Ruins, we do battle with a mad pumpkinhead that guards a door which would typically lead to some kind of hidden treasure. But instead, we find ourselves in the presence of a sorceress, unlike any we would come to meet, donning a unique glintstone crown that is not worn by anyone else in the lands between. She recognizes us as tarnished and introduces herself as Sellen. If our intellect is at least 10, we can tell her we want to learn glintstone sorcery, and she will react favorably.
A yen for glintstone sorceries. I dare say your proclivities are far from ideal. Oh well, perhaps nurture will defy nature, with a bit of luck. But one must choose one's masters wisely. I was exiled from the Academy of Raya Lucaria as a reviled, apostate witch. Do you still wish to learn from me? Well, you are a piece of work. Very well. You are now my protégé in glintstone sorcery. But I refuse to coddle, or cast kind words. Never. Anticipate grievances, young apprentice.
From this point on, she will impart her knowledge to us as we study under her as an apprentice.
Young apprentice. First things first. You are a tadpole when it comes to magic. Infantile. Without the legs to walk. So, to become a sorcerer, first, you must face your ignorance. Now, shall we start learning? Our art draws upon the powers embedded in glintstone. But what is the nature of such power? Glintstone is the amber of the cosmos. Golden amber contains the remnants of ancient life and houses its vitality, while glintstone contains residual life and thus the vitality of the stars. It should not be forgotten that glintstone sorcery is the study of the stars and the life therein, a fact lost on most sorcerers these days.
In order to move Sellen's quest forward, we must find the remains of the primeval sorcerer and Grand Master of the Carlos Conspectus, Azure. Once we do, we receive his spell, Comet Azure, and upon showing it to Sellen, she seems to open up to us a bit more.
What's this sorcery, my apprentice? Ah, then you have seen Master Azure. Master Azure was a founding Glintstone sorcerer, and my first teacher. A stern judge of men. But he must have seen something in you. You make us both proud. We can speak more later, my apprentice.
We then have the option of hearing Sellen's story for ourselves.
If you recall, I was exiled from the Academy of Raya Lucaria. It was for attempting to restore the primeval current of Glintstone sorcery. The toothless pedantry peddled by the Carian Royal Family can rot for all I care. I want Glintstone sorceries that open our minds, unbound by terrestrial taboos, no matter what we give in return. My apprentice, I presume nothing. Teacher and student are not bound to tread the same path. But hear me out, my apprentice. I need your help to restore the primeval current of Glintstone sorcery. Perhaps this is a journey we could take together. Splendid. I thank you. This pleases me. It's been far too long since I found a fellow kindred spirit. You must have a fabulous teacher.
From here, we begin the next leg of our journey, finding the primeval sorcerer Lusat.
I need your help, my apprentice. Master Lusat is another founding Glintstone sorcerer. And like Master Azure, he was banished from the Academy. Now he languishes in prison somewhere. My apprentice, can you find Master Lusat? With this Glintstone key, you should be able to cross the boundary that encloses him. I need him to restore the primeval current of Glintstone sorcery. He's nigh a child of the stars. Such is his body now. After his expulsion from the Academy, I heard that Master Lusat returned to his home, a place called Sellia in the eastern Caelid wilds. Thinking about it, I obtained the Glintstone key I gave you from a Sellian sorcerer. It wouldn't be too much of a leap to suppose he's still cooped up nearby.
We can then track Lusat to deep within the Sellia hideaway, and upon returning, Sellen says,
Who could have guessed? What a place to find Master Lusat. You have my gratitude. This is all your work. I am truly pleased to have you as an apprentice, and a kindred spirit. This is a mere token of my thanks. Please, take it. This brings us a full step closer. The bodies of Masters Azure and Lusat can be admitted to the Academy. If only I could undo these wretched shackles.
What she means by her wretched shackles is then expounded upon when we ask about her request.
The form you see before you is merely a projection. My body lies elsewhere, but the Academy's shackles prevent it being moved. My body is on the Weeping Peninsula at the southern tip of the lands between, imprisoned in the ruins just down from the Church of Marika, past the plain of the Wandering Mausoleum. Can you make the journey to my body? I have something that I can only trust with you.
We can then make our way to the Witchbane ruins in Liurnia, where we find another Sellen. This Sellen is the true body of our teacher, and she has something important to share with us.
My apprentice, thank you for coming. These shackles take a toll on us all. There is something I need you to look after. My primal glintstone. A star has fallen, and my fortunes waver. Someone may come for my life, and so I entrust it with you. Myself. Thank you, my apprentice. This is my essence. Please, treat it with care. Treat it with care, my apprentice. What you hold is my very being.
What Sellen hands us is her primal glintstone, a glintstone from within the sorceress Sellen's body, seemingly half alive. Blood vessels are visible within. In essence, a primal glintstone is a sorcerer's soul. If transplanted into a compatible new body after their original body dies, the sorcerer will rise again. We must then revisit the Witchbane ruins, where we see the witch hunter Jaren has murdered Sellen, fulfilling an old oath he took to hunt down this sorceress. If we speak to him, his reason for killing her becomes clear.
Well met. I hardly expected to see the champion of the festival here, of all places. You didn't know Sellen, did you? Well, whatever the case, she's dead now. Just put it behind you. She was known as the Graven Witch. Obsessed by the primeval current, countless sorcerers fell to her hand. The most dangerous mage in the entire history of Raya Lucaria's academy.
At this point in her quest, we need to find Sellen a proper body for her primal glintstone, and if we've been doing her quest alongside that of Celivis, then we know exactly where to look. Deep in Celivis' study is a doll made to be a perfect body double for Sellen. Of course, this doll was probably never meant for us, but we can imbue it with Sellen's primal glintstone, and after coming to life, she will say,
My apprentice. Just how long has it been? Thank you. You've helped me fill a new body once again, and it's truly a gem. Young and full of vigor, a snug fit for my primal glintstone. Better still, I've shed those awful shackles. Finally, I can return to the academy to expel the Carian Royal Family and restore the primeval current. My dear apprentice, I owe this all to you.
We can continue her quest from this point, but this is a good place to stop and discuss Sellen's true history and motivations, so we can better understand how this story comes to an end. Sellen was once a sorceress of great renown at the Academy of Raya Lucaria. Her intelligence was so well recognized that she was given a title that was particularly rare amongst those at the Academy. The Witch's Glintstone Crown shed some light on this in its description. One of the Glintstone Crowns bestowed upon Raya Lucaria scholars whose pursuits were deemed worthy increases intelligence and arcane to the detriment of stamina. This gentle-looking crown was granted to a scholar who excelled in her studies, which also merited the title of Witch. Up until this point, precious few other women have been given the title of Witch, including the Snow Witch Renna and Ranni the Witch, though it's not a stretch to think Rennala may have earned this title as well in her younger days. Sellen stood in such infamy that she's shown in portraits throughout the Academy, alongside the founders of various conspectuses, such as Azur, Lusat, and the Twin Sages. This honor was typically held for those with their own schools of study, and if we pay attention to Sellen's goals throughout her quest, we can see why she was immortalized within the Academy's walls. Sellen did have her own school within the Academy. She led those who studied the primeval current, and her title of Graven Witch likely shed light on how she did so. Sellen was the sorceress responsible for the studies that created the schools of Graven Mages, the large spheres of magical energy that can be found in various areas of the Lands Between. The Graven Mass and Graven-School talismans tell us the primeval current is a forbidden tradition of glintstone sorcery. To those who cleave to its teachings, the act of collecting sorcerers to fashion them into the seeds of stars is but another path of scientific inquiry. Jaren shared with us that Sellen sacrificed countless sorcerers to create the school of Graven Mages. And through her own admission, we know that Sellen's goal is to restore the study of the primeval current in the Academy of Raya Lucaria. And she believed the only way of truly understanding the current was to take the minds and bodies of sorcerers and cleave them together in order to create seeds of stars. Presumably by doing this, these sorcerers gained a deeper knowledge of the current, and the goal seemed to be to create a being capable of seeing the truth without going mad. The question then becomes, why was the study of the current outlawed to begin with? We believe that Sellen is the reason that the Carian Royal Family decided to outlaw the study of the current amongst its leaders and students. After sacrificing the lives and souls of so many of her students in the School of Graven Studies, Rennala and the Conspectus leaders stepped in to put a stop to Sellen's obsession with understanding the primeval current through the sacrifice of life. It would make sense that this would be the inciting incident behind this ban, as it seems unlikely she would have been able to hide the truth of her studies. After all, her original ideas are what granted her the title of witch in the first place. This ban would lead to Azor and Lusat continuing their studies into the primeval current in secret, far from the Academy, where they would eventually die from the results of their own discoveries. So with this background, we can continue on Sellen's journey, where upon visiting Rennala's study, we have a choice. To join Jaren the Witch Hunter in his final battle against Sellen, or help Sellen defeat the man who tried to end her life. Should we help Sellen defeat him, she says,
Jaren, bringer of my death, you have
We'll discuss what she means by join the school shortly, but what's most important now is that upon his defeat, Sellen will take her place at the head of the Academy, standing in the spot which once held Rennala, pushing her to the side. Upon speaking with Sellen, she says,
Ah, my apprentice. You've saved my skin once again. Do you see this? The Queen of Caria is no more. With the bodies of Masters Azure and Lusat returned, the Academy can hone the primeval current, so that we, fallen children of the stars, shall beam with brilliance once again. My apprentice, will you stay with us, here at the Academy? Oh, I know it's not possible. You have your own calling, to be the next Elden Lord. But do think of me, of your teacher. On the eve of your crowning, you will always be my darling pupil. Rest assured that the entire Academy will swear allegiance to the new monarch, my apprentice. Become Elden Lord. Perhaps I'm jumping ahead, but here is a symbol of my allegiance and the Academy's. Do you recall what once I told you? That glintstone is the amber of the cosmos, and sorcery is the study of the stars and the life therein. When you become Elden Lord, please illuminate me. Lay bare the secrets of life which course the Elden Ring. Next time, I will be your student. Oh, one last thing. If you fail to claim your throne, you can always pay me a visit. Oh, don't fret. Even my dullest pupils will always have a place here.
This seems like a fairly happy ending for Sellen. She's defeated all who stood before her with the help of our Tarnished, her apprentice. Where once she warned us that she would never coddle us on our road to deeper knowledge, she now shows a significant fondness for us, pledging the Academy to the new Elden Lord. I'd go so far as to say she's proud of everything we've become. Now Sellen is free to begin her research again, with all of the tools of Raya Lucaria at her disposal. But how exactly will she go about doing this? She mentioned that the bodies of Azor and Lusat have been brought back to the Academy to hone the current, and after defeating Jaren, she did say he should join the school to reflect on his mistake. Jaren was known as a powerful magical knight, but not someone who would study at the academy, so what could she mean by this? The horrifying truth is laid bare for us should we visit Renala's study again. Upon returning, Renala is back in her seat in the middle of the room, and off to the side is a new school of Graven mages. But this one is able to speak to us. It says,
My friend,
With all of her knowledge and all of her resources, Sellen has become a Graven mass, and while capable of speech, she doesn't seem to be able to articulate anything she's experiencing. Given what we know of her research and plans, we believe this school of Graven mages was created with the bodies of Azur, Lusat, Jaren, and whatever students she had left at the academy. This means that this mass includes 3 powerful sorcerers, 2 of which had already glimpsed the current and lost their minds to it. Perhaps Sellen thought that by using the bodies of the strongest, most learned men in glintstone sorceries, and placing herself at the center of the mass, she could transcend the failures of her previous school, and gain the knowledge she was seeking, without being transformed into this horrid amalgamation of glintstone crowns. But in the end, her very first warning to us rang true. One must choose one's master wisely, and by choosing Sellen, and helping her continue her research into the primeval current, we've doomed her to this fate of failing in her ultimate goal, and becoming a Graven mass, with just enough cognitive ability to realize something is utterly, horribly wrong. The story of Sellen the Graven Witch, like many others in the lands between, is a cautionary tale. The lesson we should take away from this is to not let obsession and hubris drive us down the path of self-destruction. You could argue that the primeval current is Lovecraftian in and of itself, due to the sheer unknowable nature of the cosmos. After all, any who stare into it become mad in one way or another, and ultimately lose their lives. No matter how much she studied, how well she prepared, or how much power Sellen acquired, it would never be enough to stare into the abyss beyond human understanding and come back out on the other side unbroken. The cosmos is a dark and unforgiving place, full of terrors, and no matter what depraved methods Sellen utilized, there was only ever one way her quest was going to end, with failure and a broken mind, much like those of us who choose to continue studying the lore of Elden Ring. So what did you think of our breakdown of the history and story of the Graven Witch, Sellen? Do you agree with our explanation of her ultimate end goal and her fate? Do you believe it's better to end Sellen before she can become a school of Graven mages? Or do we owe it to our teacher to let her see her research through to the end? Is there any way humanity can grasp the knowledge of the primeval current without going mad? Let us know your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss out on any of our lore dives. We look forward to seeing you again for more Elden lore.